Hi, it's Amy, and I wanted to make this little video because I've been doing, of course, my bucket list blocks, and I've decided, since I'm in such great spirit and cheer for my favorite holiday of Halloween, I'm going to share some secrets of what I do for Halloween. I'm often told by people that they just love the strange and unique way that I decorate for Halloween, and oh my gosh, where did you find this, or where did you find this, and I can't ever find things like this. So I decided to kind of let everybody in on what I do. First and foremost is I keep Halloween in my heart all year long. I know that sounds strange, but it's my favorite holiday. It represents fun and family and good food and candy and pranks and horror movies and all the wonderful things that I love, and also represents autumn, which is a great, fun, and not too cold, not too hot a year in Tennessee where I live. So the first thing I'm going to tell everybody about Halloween, of course, I just said, well, I keep it in my heart all year. So what that means is that I look for my spooky decor all year long. And it's not necessarily spooky decor when I buy it, but when I get it home and I get it set up about this time of year to celebrate Halloween, it becomes spooky decor. Like, for instance, this pillow right here, I got it on a summer clearance about 2 years ago. And I know early, I got it on a summer clearance about 2 years ago. It's actually an outdoor pillow, but it's black and white, kind of some great, Beetlejuice type fabric vibe. And so when I put it in my living room, and I will kind of take camera from you for a minute. When I put it in my living room, you can kind of see that it kind of meshes and matches with my spooky theme. Now, how would you have even thought that? I mean, because it's an outdoor pillow, you imagine it'll maybe a bright colored yellow or red or orange chair or whatever. But when you put it in your spooky decor, it becomes a spooky pillow. And then my hubby's taping, by the way. Hi! So come on with me, Chris, and I'm going to show you a really inexpensive thing that I do for Halloween. Don't take my butt. My hallway is something that always gets said about my hallway, because I put these up every year. Me and my daughter made these when she was about 13 years old. She's getting ready to turn 18. So these are actually, if you are, a movie lover like me, you're going to know what these mean. It's from the Blair Witch Project. My daughter and I made these out of some twine and some sticks we found outside. And so this right here, absolutely $0. It was free. And it's great Halloween decor if you like horror movies like us. Come on down this way. The candelabra, I can't really say that was free. I designed it many, many years ago, but you got to remember, I keep Halloween in my heart all year. So when I decorate for things like this, I just kind of use things that I use all year long. So the candelabra I use all year. Now at Christmas time, I put red candles in it, and I might hang some ornaments for this candelabra, and it transforms into a completely different candelabra at Christmas time. But during Halloween, it's dark and spooky. So on the walls, you'll notice some vintage-y type photos. Well, I own a lot of these original photos, and I believe a couple of them, this one right here as well as this one, these are just digital pictures that I got off the internet, and I just printed them off on my computer with photo paper, and I have put them up on my wall. Just a cute little Halloween decor. Did not cost me anything except the cost of a couple sheets of printing paper. So, as you can see, my hallway here, of course, Mr. Bones we've had for years and years, but you can get him, you can get one just like him at Walmart or any of the chain stores. He's just a plastic skeleton. So, this is very inexpensive, so free, semi-free, and he was like $5. So, but I've got a real kind of expensive, high-end looking decoration here that didn't cost me hardly anything. Come on to the dining room and I'll show you what I'm working on next. And watch where you're walking. A few years ago, my dad found this big cauldron for me. This is not faux or oh goodness, or fake, or something that, you know, you would buy just that are plastic. This is real iron cauldron. He found it at a yard sale for probably $10 a few years ago and said, oh my goodness, I know who's, you know, gonna like that. Actually, he found it several years ago. What I did was I just put some Spanish moss inside of it. This time of year is the only time of year that I really do use the cauldron. I've been known to use it in the past for some Halloween parties with dry ice. But you can still find these pretty reasonable at most what I call junk stores. They're not expensive. You can't use them for anything liquidy because they're cracked on the bottom. So you got to keep that in mind, you know. So you're going to use it as part of decor. You can usually find them for $10 or $20, and you can hang them up on hooks in the attic during the off season, so you don't have to worry about them taking up a lot of space. So what I did was I put Spanish moss in. Come on over. The Spanish moss, I believe I found it at a junk store too, because I wanted that older, drier looking Spanish moss. I've had this crow for years and years. I think I found him literally at like after Halloween was over on one of those 70% off sales, and I use him every year. And I just put him into the Spanish moss, and he kind of stands up, and then plastic skull, and then I've got a great centerpiece for Halloween right there. So this can be achieved for little to no money. And all it really is, the centerpiece is the big cauldron that was probably used over a fire way back when, you know, to wash clothes is what I'm thinking it was for. But I transformed it into a great little centerpiece. The other thing I'm working on, which I'll kind of show you right here, this is probably my most expensive Halloween decoration. I did put a lot of time into this because this is an apothecary jar, and I paid a little bit of money for this, but I'd always wanted to decorate like this. So I got this at Pier 1 Imports. I believe it cost me about $60 a few years ago. I ordered these stickers, which this is a crow, and I ordered these stickers off eBay. I think they cost me a couple of bucks. And then what I did was I went to the candy store and I got green gumballs. I started saying gumbo. Green gumballs, and just bought enough and filled it up, and I threatened everybody's life if they wanted to take one out every day during the season, because because there's so many chemicals and so much yuck and preservative in these, you can actually put these in a Ziploc, put them up every year and reuse them. So that's a key to it when you're working with gumballs. You can reuse these every single year. And I think this is probably my third year using these gumballs. So this is my most expensive decoration, but again, it was nothing I bought in the Halloween department. It's just a regular apothecary jar, gumballs from the candy store, and a crow. A lot of the traditional Halloween decorations that are really popular now, they've kind of come out with, are these faux bottles. I've had mine for a few years. But you can actually get these bottles for almost next to nothing at junk stores. I mean, literally. And I say junk stores, not antique stores, but I'm talking really like dig in, wear your gloves so you don't get by spider junk stores. And then you can go on the internet and a lot of different websites, you can print off some really spooky labels to put on these jars. Most of the time you'll find them without their corks, as I did this jar. This jar, I actually used an old champagne cork to put in the top of it. So that's what I did. You can print these off pretty easily. So that's what I do a lot of times for Halloween. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention. Something you don't hardly think about a lot of times. I found this just a couple of weeks ago, which is just a little carriage, and that's my play off of my favorite horror movie, Rosemary's Baby. I'm sure whoever made this had no intentions of it being Halloween decor, but those people who come to my home are going to know that a little carriage in here is going to represent Rosemary's Baby, which is my favorite, all-time favorite horror movie. So, not meaning this whole thing to sound like Martha Stewart, but like I said, I have a lot of people tell me during the Halloween season that come to the house, or they see my pictures online of my house decor, that how did you do that? You know, you've spent a lot of money, it looks like. Well, actually, I didn't spend a lot of money at all. The thing about it is when you love a holiday, you keep it in your heart all year long. And that's just the key to it. There's lots of things I've picked up along the way, and I won't show them to a lot of people just so, you know, gross out, because I actually have real bottles of, you know, of just poison, you know, that have been emptied in the bottles but still have the labels on them. These are not hard to find. You can find them at true junk stores for a couple of bucks. Clean them up real good and you got some great Halloween decor, and you haven't spent tons of money for cheap decor that's not going to last. You've actually bought some really cool antiques that are going to last a lifetime. So, thanks a lot for watching, and love everybody, and happy Halloween!